and welcome back to weekly school lunchbox ideas, where I'm going to show you everything I packed inside my kids' school lunchboxes this week. As always, the recipes are written in the description box below, and if you've already joined as a member, your principal recipes are available complete with a shopping list. I'm going to leave the link below for those of you who are interested in joining our little community. For this week, I let my 10-year-old decide what I should pack for the week, and it's going to be a good one. Let's get started. For lunch today, I am making chili mac. Here I've got some diced onion, green bell pepper, and poblano. I've also got a little bit of minced garlic that I prepped last night. Start by browning the ground beef. Here I'm using a little over a pound of lean ground beef. You're going to break it apart as it cooks until the beef is no longer pink. Now ideally, you'd want to transfer the ground beef to a plate first, add some oil, then add your diced onion, green pepper, and poblano to cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, but that is not happening in the morning, so I skipped that step. Now I added some minced garlic, and after about a minute I added the seasoning and tomato paste. Stir and cook for 5 minutes. Then you're going to add the tomato sauce and broth. Let this simmer while you cook the pasta. Now I know in some recipes you cook the pasta in there with the ground beef, but honestly I don't prefer it that way. I think the texture is just a little different. I am using corkscrew pasta today. I also like using elbow macaroni in this recipe, and I'm going to go ahead and preheat the thermos. Just a note here, you don't have to tightly close the lid because it's going to be a little challenging when you try to open it. For their fruits today, they're having watermelon, I'm also going to give them some baby carrots. By now the pasta is ready. I'm just going to drain it and toss it to combine, and add some shredded cheese. You can add as much cheese as you like. You can also add some extra cheese on top and place under the broiler for a few minutes until the cheese has melted. I skipped that part at this time. Be sure to wipe your thermos dry after dumping the hot water out. You want it to be dry before adding the food in there. I'm just going to add an ice pack inside their lunch bag so that the watermelon and carrots stay cool. And you guys know they take water to school, and that is today's lunch. So for lunch today, he wanted shrimp fried rice. Of course, my boy is stuck on shrimp fried rice. He wants it like once a week, which is fine. We all love shrimp fried rice. Here I've got some peeled and deveined shrimp, about a ½ pound. I'm not making a huge batch here. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of white pepper, and some rice flour. This is just going to make the shrimp a little crispy. You can skip it if you don't have it, or you can also use cornstarch. Now we're just going to give it a stir. All right, and now I'm just going to set this to the side and prep our veggies. Now I know I always preach about prepping your veggies at night, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't happen at night, so we got to do it in the morning. Start by heating a bit of oil into the skillet, then sear the shrimp for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Remove the shrimp, then you're going to add a little bit more oil if necessary and saute some diced shallot, slice white part of green onion, and garlic. After a few minutes, add some frozen veggies. I'm using peas and carrots. Cook until softened, then you're going to add a couple of whisked eggs. Let it set before scrambling it. Then add your cold rice, return the shrimp back into the skillet, add some soy sauce, pinch of salt, white pepper, MSG if using, and sweet soy sauce. Stir to combine. Add some sliced green onion and a drizzle of sesame oil. With that, they're going to have a couple of cuties. I'm just going to poke a little hole so they can be peeled easily. My kids love seaweed to go with their fried rice, and I'm also going to give them some juice. All right, and I'm just going to quickly close the thermoses. And now I'm just going to add everything inside their lunch bags, and I need to move a little quickly here because we're running a few minutes behind. We got their lunchbox, seaweed, juice, and their utensils. And you guys know they take water to school, and that's their lunch today. So for lunch today, he wanted a cheeseburger. Now I know from experience that a cheeseburger does not hold up well inside of a lunchbox. Even if you put the patty inside of a thermos, it doesn't stay warm and it gets a little dry with a glob of cheese right on top. It did not work for us before. So I gave him a couple of suggestions and showed him a couple of my older videos, and he actually decided on barbecue cheeseburger sliders. Here I've got some chopped onion and minced garlic that I prepared last night. Into a skillet, heat some oil, then add some diced onion. After a few minutes, add some minced garlic. Once the onion have softened, move that over to the side, then start browning the ground beef. Break it apart, then you're just going to mix it together with the onion and garlic mixture. Season with salt, white pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce, and your favorite barbecue sauce. Toss together and let it simmer for a few minutes. I'm going to add a few slider rolls into their lunch boxes. They're just going to spoon some of the beef mixture in here, and I also gave them some shredded cheese. I also boiled some frozen corn in some salted water, drain, then you're just going to let this cool a bit. Then I'm going to add it to this little container. For their fruits today, I'm going to give them some cherries and some fruit snacks for something sweet. The ground beef and a spoon. And that is today's lunch. For today's lunch, he asked for chicken Alfredo. Here I have a boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'm just going to cut it in half lengthwise. I'm going to season both sides of the chicken breast with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. So this is the pasta that I'm going to be using. It's called mafaldine. I'm sorry if I just butchered that. I'll link it below if y'all are interested in using the same one. Heat some oil into a skillet, and I'm going to sear this for about 3 minutes on each side. Cutting it lengthwise expedites the cooking process and also ensures even cooking. Remove the chicken and let it rest. Then I'm going to just melt some butter, add some heavy cream, stir, and after a few minutes add some grated Parmesan. And I also use the same seasoning as the chicken. So I'm just going to stir and let this sit for a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to preheat my thermos. I actually just used the hot pasta water here. Hot water is hot water, right? Then I'm just going to cut the chicken into strips or however you like it. Then I'm going to add the pasta and the chicken into the skillet and toss together. Here I'm just adding some sugar snap peas, and they're also going to have grapes for their fruits. Alright guys, you know the drill, an ice pack to keep their fruits and vegetables cool. Their pasta up here and a fork. And that is today's lunch. We made it to Friday, and for lunch today, he just wanted wings. Just wings with buffalo wing sauce on the side so he can dip it in. So I seasoned the wings last night, and here I've got some seasoned all-purpose flour. I'm just going to dredge the wings in here and let it sit for about 15 minutes. Alright, so I did most of the work the day before. Started by seasoning the wings with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. Also a little bit of oil. Toss, cover, and refrigerate. The next morning, I just tossed the wings in some seasoned flour. Let this sit out on a baking sheet for about 15 minutes. Give it a good spray on both sides and air fry at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, not 400, for about 30 minutes, flipping halfway. In the meantime, preheat the thermoses, and I also made this potato salad the day before. I just peeled and cut the potatoes into cubes, sort of. Boiled it in some salted water until fork tender. Drain and place into a large bowl to let cool. For the dressing, I am going to separate some egg yolks, mash it, add some mayo, Dijon mustard, relish, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. And I also added a pinch of sugar just to balance out the saltiness. Mix this really well, and for the potato salad, I just added some diced onion, diced celery, and the boiled egg whites. Then I added the dressing. Please make sure the potatoes have cooled down before you add the dressing. And then now here I'm just going to toss to combine. It really does taste better the next day, so if you have the time, make this the day before. So they're also going to have some watermelon and buffalo wing sauce on the side. I placed a piece of paper towel to the bottom of the thermos to prevent the wings from getting soggy. I will say that both my kids prefer their wings fresh, so this is probably something that we're just going to eat at home. All right, you guys know the drill by now. An ice pack to the bottom of their lunch bag to keep their potato salad and watermelon cool. Chicken wings, oops. Spoon and a fork. And that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Bye.